Hey, Rachelle. Hey, everybody. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Or wait, was that for me or was that for everybody first?
It's for you and everybody.
I'm good. It's a Monday. I think it's a Monday. So yeah, totally good. How about you?
I think you said it best when you said, I think it's a Monday. Like, it's kind of, and I was talking with one of our guests below, like, it's been a crazy Monday for sure.
Oh my gosh.
So, what
Yeah.
about you?
A little bit. Good Monday, but I don't know. I have a couple really hectic days coming up this week, and so I'll be glad. Friday's not as hectic as this past Friday was with before we went live on Friday. So I got that going for me. But Wednesday, whew, good thing we don't go live on Wednesdays because I don't know. Although I might need it just to kind of end on a high fun note. So I don't know.
Well, I'm going live on Wednesday with one of our guests today, Kristen. We're going to have a book chat for All In. And Jacie, Dr.
Oh,
Jacie can join us too if it works out. But so far, it's Kristen and me. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
boom. So we got the authors
I
today. We're going to bring them
know.
up in just a second. But I do want to say, Rachelle, like I know that we both have some weird days, but you always seem to come back on and like you're smiling and you're happy, and it's like, hey, everybody. So I
It's
just want to
because of
say,
you.
everybody that's well, we'll scary. But everybody who's joining in, we're so glad that you're here with us today, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Tell us how you're doing on this wonderful Monday. And I want to give a happy birthday shout out to Jillian Du Bois. It is
Yes.
her birthday I saw today. So she is a wonderful member of our community. So happy birthday, Jillian. And are you ready to bring up our friends?
I am, but did you notice what I posted in the Thrive community today? 'Cause,
I
I got
did. I
that
saw.
like the monthly kind of things. So yeah, so today is National Grilled Cheese Day. So if you're looking for something to eat, and I've frozen as I'm looking at my calendar, but that's okay. But it is National Grilled Cheese Day, and hey, here in Pittsburgh, where coincidentally our two guests are located just like me, even though we're about 40 minutes apart, it's a rainy day, so it's kind of like a really good day for a grilled cheese. Just saying.
I agree. Is it raining where you guys are? Oh, oops, I did this
Yeah,
wrong.
that was scary. It is. It's been
Wow.
off and on all day, but it's been mostly raining all day. There was a peak of sun at some point, but yeah. So,
Hey,
yay! Tasty, Kristen.
that was oh look, it looks that was so not smooth. I apologize. That was like scary should you see it. But that is so cool. So where all of you guys are, it is rainy, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
totally.
it's a rainy Monday.
We've been
Yeah.
So
lucky though.
sorry to
We've
hear
had
that.
really nice weather. Like it's
Yeah,
been
we have.
sunny and beautiful lately, so I'll take that for April any day.
Yeah.
Me
Well,
too.
it's good to see you. So we'll start with you, JC, Dr. JC Maslyk. Tell us a little bit about you and your background. Anything you'd like to share?
All right. Well, like Rachelle said, I'm born and raised in the Pittsburgh area. I've been here my whole life. I started as a classroom teacher. I mostly taught kindergarten and first grade, and then went on to be a reading specialist because my heart is like teaching little ones how to read. And I was a reading coach for a little while, which was a lot of fun. I think that's sort of where I got my taste of doing professional development. I went on to become an elementary principal for 10 years in a wonderful school here in Pittsburgh. And then for the last 6 years, I've been an assistant superintendent. And that's where Kristen and I first connected. She always tells a story how I just showed up in her room one day and no central office person had ever done that. So she was like, who is this crazy person coming into my classroom? We have been partners in crime and good friends ever since.
It pretty
That's
much was
awesome.
followed up with, will you marry me? I mean, I'm just saying. People are always like, what? I'm like, no, seriously. Like, she came by my room, literally asked me, like, well, first of all, she said hello, asked me if I was doing okay, asked me what I envisioned for my classroom for the school year. And that just was like, huh? And I mean, really, that's how the book starts because I mean, it really was that sunshiny day. And the fall. And when she stopped by and I felt the realness and that just a simple question, I mean, just the care that came with it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to marry you. Like, I had not met her. Like, I don't even know. Was that the first time we met, Jacie?
Yes.
Like, I was like, did I just say that to my assistant superintendent? Then I was like, well, I could settle for a hug. But Jacie wasn't really a hugger then. Now she is. So, yeah, it
Well,
was.
and I think that's sort of the crazy start of it all, which it just led to so many other conversations over time just about teaching and learning. And she would invite me to her class to do stuff with her kids, which I just adore. I mean, that's like the best part of any day when you're a central office person, is to be sitting next to a kid going like, tell me what you guys are doing. Like, what is this all about? And seeing their passion. And Kristen this year is a cyber teacher, but generally runs a pretty unconventional kind of classroom. And it has really empowered kids to just do amazing things. And so I found myself trying to sneak in there any chance I could get. And the more we talked, the more we were like finding not only commonalities, because truly one of the reasons why we wrote our book was to give those two very different perspectives. Like, here's what it looks and feels like for a classroom teacher. And here's why maybe an admin might do or say this. And I think we just kind of one day said, you know what, we're going to open a Google Doc and start writing down these ideas that we have. And that was the early stages of our book.
I love that you said that, because when I was looking for a picture of you two together, which I had quite a few to choose from, the big picture I used for the graphic was like, when that's exactly the story that you were saying. It was like the book had just come out or was about to come out, and you said it started with that Google Doc. So that's pretty cool. It's a good story.
And that was it was something whereby, like, when I was first like starting this journey of like reinventing myself, reinventing teaching, what it could look like for kids, it was all one big like epic sphere, and it all revolved around Jacie saying yes, like, why not, let's try it, what's the worst that's going to happen, and it just kind of like blew up very quickly, because when you haven't had that for so long, and I mean, I just think educators by nature have that creative sense to them. Somehow, some way, you have a creative outlet that you're looking to spin, and mine just really followed that of whatever the kids wanted to do. What was it that made, I just always need to know what makes them tick. Then I can take what makes them tick and I can bring it into the classroom and we can have a blast learning. And when you're told yes, you just don't even know. It's like this full sense of like out of control, but you have to maintain some sense of control. So it was always interesting because we would have these conversations, and there were times that neither one of us would get what the other one was saying. But there was this immediate trust between the two of us. It was just one of those things that you could feel, you knew. And we may have just like given each other bits and pieces at first, and then immediately you were like, oh yeah, I could give this much more. And once, that friendship started, and it was a respect. It really was like an utmost respect. Jacie really respected what I was trying to bring to the classroom, and I really respected the perspective that she was bringing to it as an administrator, and the fact that she was sharing her thoughts with me. If she didn't really care for something, it wasn't so much that she didn't care about it. It was that she really shared with me why it wasn't really jiving with her. And I thought, oh, okay, I would have never known that had you not told me. So it all became this perspective journey of, okay, if we just heard each other, if we just were listening to each other, it's okay that we have this hot topic here. We can grow so much more, and we could see so much more of the bigger picture if we actually heard one another. And that was when the whole thing came with like, let's open up that Google Doc and start throwing in these thoughts, these ideas. And it was so interesting because like we would both write with all of our heart and mind about our perspective. And then the other perspective would come in and we were like, oh, wait, oh my gosh, right? And then we'd come back at it. And it was just such an incredible journey because do feel like we both grew so much through that. And, just to back up, I mean, Jacie and I have had quite a different journey. I mean, 23 years in education myself. But I started off in emotional support, learning support. And then I've been in that very same classroom of third grade for years and years and years. I have really mastered third grade, and when you're given that one thing to do and you're told that was the way you're going to do it, you can get really great at it to the point that you actually think your way of doing it is the way because it's all you had time to hone in on. It's all you had to hone in on. And so when all that other creativeness of 20 to 30 kids come at you, it gets sticky and messy and fabulous and fun. And you just feel an energy that you can't help but want to just hold on to and chase down and blow up all at the same time. So it is pretty interesting.
I love how, Kristen, when you're talking about both you and Dr. Jacie, like there's that, like you like crossed boundaries that a lot of times people are not able to cross, to come together and work together and learn together. I think that in itself is such a beautiful story. I wish we could do that more, but those titles sometimes and the degrees, like they seem to separate us a lot more than they bring us together. So I think that's a wonderful testament to the fact that you guys were able to write a book and become friends and learn from one another. I just have a question, because Vegas is my favorite place in the whole world.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Vegas? I'm just curious.
Well, it's so funny and interesting. It's like there's so much from both of us that comes into this book. But I flat out said I can't do chapters. I was not much of a reader as a child. And I was starting to really love this new journey. She put me on this journey of reading. I've read hundreds of books now in the last few years. But it all started with one day of her asking me what was the last thing I read. And I was too embarrassed to say I don't even know because I don't remember the last time I picked up a book. And, that was 5-6 years ago. And so when we started writing, I was like, I have to be honest, I will get bored with myself if I'm writing chapters. I won't even know. Is 5 enough? 7? Do you skip them? Do you make them a page long? Like, for me, it wasn't working for me. And she'd already written books. She didn't care that I said that. Like, it wasn't offending her. She didn't personalize my insanity. And that in itself was so beautiful because she allowed me to be me, which I think in the same respect, I allowed her to be her. And we were able to really rock it out in this dynamic way, this Vegas style way of like, you can do whatever you want, and come out the winner. And it's just, so I actually went to Vegas for the first time ever with my brother and my sister-in-law and my husband. I am not, you wouldn't think I'm not a Vegas person. I don't even gamble, right? But I am a risk taker. I take chances. Like, all these things about Vegas are exciting to me. I'm just happen to be the kind of person that if I have that much money, this girl just wants to buy a new pair of shoes with that money and an outfit to match it. I'm okay with that. Okay. Jacie's a gambler. And okay. All right. I probably shouldn't have thrown it out just like that, but she'll tell you more. She enjoys Vegas a little more. And so when I came back, I started telling her about this trip, and she was like, like when Jacie, take it from there. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you about the trip. You like Vegas. Like, it just, I don't even know. It just, we felt it. We felt it right in front of, it was right in front of us.
I mean, it's probably aside from the beach, going to Vegas is one of my favorite places to be. But as we started thinking, and each of the chapters is a bet, and there are a lot of parallels to education, and we're coming up with all these Vegas terms, and we're like, oh, well, that reminds me of this, and this reminds me of that, and we're like, let's do it. And we wanted them to be short, right? We wanted things to be short, little snippets. We also didn't want it to just be our voice. So we kind of called upon the Twitterverse and asked a lot of people from our PLN to kind of just give us some little pieces like, hey, tell us about a time when you took that huge risk, or tell us a little bit about the relationship you have with your admin. Because I think all of those other voices are more powerful than just ours. I mean, it's really the culmination of what everybody has shared that allows people to say, you know what, I need to focus more time on relationships with lots of people. Thank you, Barbara. That's so important to say.
Totally. I know. I'm like, Barbara, you are spot on.
And that's I mean, the relationship is what started our whole journey, and it's really the story that we love to tell to people.
Yeah.
I know. And, just to say,
Okay. I didn't prep.
Go ahead, Melody.
No. You say, I know what my question is, so go ahead and say it.
Well, because for me, Jacie was saying like all these terms that we were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that and that and that. And it was almost like this Vegas vibe was like inside me, like screaming to get out, because we were like the game of chance. And to be quite honest with you, like this was my game of chance. This was it. It was right in front of me. And I had someone saying to me, yes, let's do it. And the thing is this, it wasn't my story. It wasn't Jacie's story. This was about the kids. Like it wasn't about me getting a chance. It was about me getting an opportunity to then give the chance to these kids, and vice versa. Honestly, it was just so exciting every day. Like I would just message her and be like, oh my gosh, you will never believe what Adam did today. Or, oh my gosh, you're going to have to see what Aubrey just said. Let's do it. And it was just this constant like excitement, because for once it wasn't a sit and get, and I felt comfortable. I didn't feel like I had to dial up, phone a friend. I didn't have to dial up and ask admin for permission. And honestly, like I thought when I was hired, when you're hired, you are like ready to bring the world, and when you show up ready to bring the world, and it's not that you don't really have that big opportunity. It's just that the world becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller when you get this task list in front of you. And then it becomes like a scope and sequence and a calendar of like that each building will be on, and the classes will have to be all on the same page at the same time. And, we owe so much to our community in that respect of like being able to have something of a common language, but that if we lose ourselves so much in staying in line with what we want so that we can have control over the situation, we lose every single thing that every child out there is ready to venture into. They don't even know themselves. They just need a chance. They need that chance to be able to figure it out. And I'm at that perfect age. Little 7-8-year-old minds, turning 9, and they're just dabbling into life, and they're excited to be able to say, well, what about that? That all that questioning, all the whys, all the wheres, all the who's, the hows, they're there. And we don't want to be the ones answering it for them. And Jacie really leads that way too, because, we would go to her and say, well, how do you do that? Where do you find that? And Jacie would always just give us that look. And she's like, I don't know. What do you think? And she never led us in one specific direction. It was just, what direction are you going to be willing to take? And then who are you going to share that with? And, by the end of that day, by the end of that week, you could have 30, 40, 50 resources instead of the one that you were told to have.
That's a lot. Jacie,
She's a lot.
That is awesome. I have 2 questions, but I don't want to ask them if anybody else wants to share thoughts, because that was.
I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
Me too.
I'm just hanging out here right now.
Go ahead. What's your question, Melody?
Okay, I have 2 questions. The first one is the most important, and is everybody right now, will you join me in Vegas this summer? You don't have to answer just now, but think about it. It's coming up. I'm going to hold you to it, okay? And then
Rachelle has been wanting a girl trip
to Nashville.
Well, we've already been in Nashville. It's Vegas. This time it's to Vegas. Anyway, but will you guys I need to get some Vegas memorabilia.
Right.
But will you guys write together again? Do you have something else brewing? Because you seem to you're still working together closely.
We're always brewing. We can't help ourselves. It's, you have that. It's not just about this. It's, you have this little part in you that feels a little lost when you're not feeling, and feeling that passion. And I honestly have so much respect for my friend. It's every time that we go on a journey together, whether it's preparing for a conference or literally getting on a plane together or writing together, all of it, I just absorb so much goodness. There's so much to learn. And someone had said to me one time, well, will you write by yourself? And I said, it's not that I won't write by myself. I mean, I love to write. It's just, gosh, the journey is so much more fun with others. And when you get to have fun and you're with someone that you admire and respect and you gain from, and you really feel like you can give and contribute to their world too, then you just have this really cool dynamic. And we're always opening dogs. We're always opening dogs. Sometimes they start coming to fruition, and sometimes they just kind of hang out there, and we're like, maybe we'll feel the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've probably come up with a handful of ideas for things over the last, I don't know, year or so. And we're like, yeah, maybe we should write about that. But I will say, I wrote a few books before Kristen and I kind of connected, and it was such a different experience writing with somebody else, having someone to be accountable to and for, is very different than just sitting and writing on your own terms. And truly the way that we did it in a Google Doc, I mean, she might have had, Kristen stays up late, I go to bed early. So she might have been up till, midnight writing, 3 bets in the chapter. And then I wake up the next morning and I looked in and like, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. And then I might start, that will prompt me with an idea that I hadn't thought about. And then I'm writing and writing. It was such an interesting dynamic that I hadn't experienced before. And so I think we will probably write something again. We've thought about maybe some different perspectives to take on. Kristen doesn't even know this, but I had a brilliant thought the other day that I was going to vox her about, but I didn't. But we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, I think we'll definitely write something. It might be for teachers, it might be for other people. But yeah, I think the partnership, we work so well together, and it has really pushed us both to think differently about things. And I think that's been, at least I know for me, it has helped me to grow at a point. Again, Kristen and I have both been in this game for almost 24 years. You don't want to be at a point at this time in your life or your career where you feel like you're boring or stagnant or lost. Right. So we want to keep in it. And I know that when we work together, it pushes us to just get better and learn more. And I know that I will never want to lose sight of that.
I love that.
Right there.
And I love that you guys you're your yes people. You're the yes people. I love that. And I actually think sometimes Rachelle's like that for me. Like we come up with some fun plans and then we're like, should we do it? And we've done it. And it is fun. And I love how you yes, your thoughts together, pushing yourselves. That is amazing. And we do really need each other. And you're perfect examples of we talk about silos in teaching and how that does not help us in any way, shape, or form. And you are living proof of that. Your book is definitely an artifact to that, but your relationship is really the testament to that. So that's beautiful. Yeah.
I can't say enough. If you go to Bet 21, Bet 21 is challenge the pit boss. Okay. So
okay,
just let's all do that.
Go to Bet 21.
Bet 21, right? So
are you going to read
it? Boss. Wednesday. I have something planned for you on Wednesday. So let me just tell you that when you think about that and what that can look like, what that may look like, what kind of approach you take when you really want to share again, your perspective, your thoughts on something, and how are you going to not only challenge it, but in turn receive it? How are they going to receive it? Will you go from that point? But this is not just a teacher admin thing. This is, at what point do you allow your students to challenge you as their pit boss? So there's so many levels that this goes on, and when you look at that, I think that's what I really just loved, because you could come in at any stage of the game within education. You can come in within any role. You can come in as a tech, coach. You can come in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a paraprofessional. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at working with kids within the system of learning. It doesn't matter if it's a student. It doesn't matter if it's a parent. Challenging the pit boss can and will happen. It's just, what are you going to do with it from there? Is this going to be a sensitive issue? Are you going to try to gain something from it? And also for me, there were challenges I may have placed her way because I just really didn't understand. And she knows that about me. She knows my challenges, not always because I think I'm right and I think she's wrong and I want to override it. That actually rarely happens. It's more of, help me understand. Help me understand why, because I may feel so strongly about something, like in my soul feel strongly, that I just think this is the right thing for a child, that I actually do need someone to stop and just please tell me why I have to do it that way. Because 9 times out of 10, if you do, I'm going to go, oh, okay, I actually didn't think of it that way. And for that one time that I don't, I'm a big enough girl to put on my big girl pants and walk away. It's okay. But challenging the pit boss is super important. Otherwise, again, it goes back to that being stagnant, to which Jacie and I never wanted to be. So, and do we ever? And which is why we're always willing to take our world and just throw it out there, to see what the other one thinks. It could be anything at all. So
I love that. I love that. Okay. I don't know if you realize this. We've been talking for 28 minutes straight, and it's been wonderful, and you've given me a lot to think about. And, but before we go, we have to end it on a very light note. So are you both ready for the Would You Rather? This is goofy.
Let's do this.
Can you be goofy? Can you put your goofy pants on, Kristen?
Got him.
Right.
I almost said, do I have pants on? No, I'm just joking.
Is this where I talk now?
Yes, it is where you talk. You got the questions, my friend?
Lips on for a while, but I don't actually have the listening lips. So that's why I put the Nashville sign up on my face. Yeah, I got questions. Okay, question 1. Ooh, it's a good one. Would you rather eat a live worm or be locked in a room with a tarantula for an hour, but you don't know where it actually is?
Eat a worm. I would have to go with the tarantula. Like, I just would not be able to get that thing down. So grossed out. I couldn't even do it. I could never be on Survivor. I could wreck the heck out of something, lift it up and do it. But that whole eating thing, that's not gonna happen.
Nope.
I feel like I could eat a worm. A lot of stuff. I feel like I could. A worm is nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then it's still moving in there. Ugh.
Come on, didn't you have to swallow goldfish in college? You were in a sorority. You didn't have to swallow goldfish.
Not in my sorority, Jacie. That was yours.
No way. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. All right. Next question. Would you rather have to eat dinner by yourself for a whole year or have to go to a public gym in order to take a shower for a whole year?
Go ahead, Jacie. I seriously could care less about either one of them. It's the weirdest thing. I am that person. I could seriously go and take a shower wherever. That wouldn't even faze me.
Yeah.
And there's something so incredibly peaceful about being by yourself. And I feel like I just did it for a year to some degree. So,
Well, I'm gonna have to say I'd rather eat by myself. I don't mind eating by myself. Kristen, are you one of those women in the locker room that just walks around naked? Like, who cares?
No.
Are you like that?
She knows. Oh my gosh, Maslyk.
Oh my. I'm blushing on that one.
You know what I'm talking
making
about? Have you guys
stuff up
ever been in a locker room and the women just they drop everything and they just walk around without a care in the world? You've never experienced that?
Oh, like
Thankfully, no. Thankfully, no.
Listen, Jacie, I didn't even want to like share rides to her.
Okay, next question.
Oh my gosh. Next person. Next question.
We're losing it.
Okay, would you rather be able to play every musical instrument or master every type of sport? I'm going instrument, personally.
I want to play sports.
Instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to let a little aggression out, so I'm going to go with this. I mean, I love music and all, but somebody can play that while I'm playing my sports. I need to be active. I need to do something with myself.
Oh my gosh. I definitely need
feel that.
Instruments.
I resemble that. Oh.
What did Jacie say? Did Jacie say music?
Yeah, I don't know how to play anything. So that's kind of like, I don't know that I want to study every instrument, but that at least would be, I feel like that would be, I'd accomplish something. And I mean, I could like play Had a Little Lamb on a piano, but that's about it. I think learning that stuff would be cool.
And on Spiro things.
I
Spectrums.
agree.
I can play Spectrums.
Yep.
Music.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
Let's see. Would you rather, I got to ask this one. This is from the other day too. Would you rather be in a room, have the lights on or off if you knew the room was full of snakes?
None of the above.
Definitely on. I need to just see it. I can deal with things better that I can see.
Yeah. I am the same.
That would like be a death sentence for me. I can't really think of anything worse.
Yeah, I can't
agree.
Either, but
Where did you get these?
they're just random.
That's
like,
a hard one.
There are
That's a
many.
hard question.
So many.
I feel like here's the thing with that one.
Like there's 660, 10 best, and they're into categories.
That is great.
Yeah. That snake question, that's a really good, like, if you want to unveil like your philosophy on problem solving and like whether or not it's solvable. And I feel like if I'm just going to die, I don't want to see it coming. If it were a problem I could actually fix, I'd want to see it. But if I'm just going to die, no matter, like, just let me.
Oh my goodness. Now that you say it that
I'll
way.
just be taken by surprise.
Right.
Just saying. Well, my friends, I want to say we have. Oh, you want to do one more? Go ahead.
I'm going to do one more, okay? Because it's kind of funny. Would you rather be a pirate with no ship or a ninja with noise? Wait, a pirate with no ship or a ninja with noisy shoes?
Oh my gosh, that is so hysterical. I guess
I'm gonna be a ninja.
Here I
Just
come,
take your
right?
shoes off.
Yeah, right. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with the pirate. I'm feeling a little DBC love there. I'm going with the pirate, got a little pirate girl in me.
I might go pirate too, right with you.
I mean, we always have our crew,
it,
even if the ship goes down, right?
What fun is it to be a pirate if you don't have a ship? At
You
least
still
if
have
you're
your
a ninja, you can do cool things with or
They
without
hear you coming, ninja. It's not like you can creep up on them.
Well,
Johnny,
maybe I'm like a friendly ninja. I don't need to like attack people. I just want to like do flips and kicks and stuff.
Oh, you're redefining ninja.
Black. You can look good. Like you can be slim because you can wear black as
Yes.
I'm all for the ninja, just saying.
I don't know, but Johnny Depp wasn't always on a boat when he was a pirate, and he was a really funny pirate.
Yes, you're so right.
And so was the woman in that too. I can't think of her name now, but
Oh, I'm terrible with that.
yeah. So that one was a funny one. I thought it
Oh
was
my
funny.
gosh. So funny.
So,
It is. We'll have to ask a lot of people that question. It is good. And I think if you want to be, I can't help this. I always think a sexy pirate. Just whatever. Just throw that out there. It was hard. It's like be a sexy pirate or somebody that can wear black. Like I just feel like that's my color. But like who cares? That's so random and weird.
oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
I'm with my girlfriends. I can say whatever I want, you know?
That's right.
But this has really been fun for me. I've loved hanging out with all of you today, and it's made my Monday a little bit better because before we got on, I was really struggling. So I appreciate all of you. And I always ask everybody before we leave, like, are there any last words that you want to share with everybody before we say goodbye?
No, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for the opportunity. It's always good connecting with you guys, and love the EduMatch family and proud to be connected with all of you.
Always.
Definitely.
I know. Thank you. Because just like you, Melody, I mean, I was coming in here like a blazing hot mess. I mean, the rain has been coming down in Pittsburgh all day. I'm usually at home. I'm cyber instructor in front of my, camera all day long. And today I ventured out and was delivering things to my students. So I was like in and out, rain everywhere, hot mess express. And you can see I just like got rained on all day. And the funniest part is, before I left the house today, I had to turn around and grab a sweater because I usually only have to iron the front of my shirt. My shirt was like a hot mess from sneeze. I was like, oh my gosh, grab a sweater. Nobody ever has to see my back. I sit in a chair all day, so it gets sprinkled anyway. I was
my gosh.
Yeah, real world living, right? I had to go live in the real world today. So funny. Thank you guys. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Yeah. Always good to have you.
It has. And
Always.
Rachelle, who was coming on Thursday or Friday? Who was going to be joining us?
Our friend Andrew Easton. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining in.
See ya.